So one of the most common questions I get asked, and I guess it's like a fear with the Evergreen model, is that you just can't take any time off. If you have a program that's running all the time, it basically means that if you want to take a week's holiday or even like a month off, that becomes really hard. And for me, I found the Evergreen model is so much more sustainable. In this video, I'm going to chat through how I take 10 weeks holiday a year. I used to take 13, I used to take all the school holidays off, and I've shifted that slightly for a few reasons that I'll share. But how I take 10 weeks off and that just work and feel really easy. Now, before I say that, what I would say is the cohort model, where you have a start-stop program, is a better model for you if you want to focus on lots of different things. If you want your program to be one thing that you run once a year and then you step away from it for 9 months. So I have a program that's a 12-week program that I run with another coach, and we run that as a cohort once a year, and that model works really well. However, my main business is an evergreen program. And what that means basically is my program runs all the time and I add people into it every single month. And the reason I love it is my marketing is more of a rhythm, a constant rhythm to attract leads. I use ads to bring new people in. I'm big on creating video and writing emails. And it basically means whenever people need my help, I have a program that they can join at any time when it's right for them. I don't have to launch to fill it. And so I have more of a marketing rhythm that feels slow and sustainable and really good for me. But then with that model, if it's running all the time, how do you take breaks? How do you actually step away and actually have the work-life balance that you want? So here's what I used to do. I used to simply have it written into my client contracts that I don't work in the school holidays. We would link to my school's school holiday calendar and just say, here are all the weeks that we don't work. And there are a couple of options you can do. You can either just bake that into the program, so it's 6 months long, but we don't work the school holidays. Or you can add additional weeks, especially if they're, say, missing out like a month over August. We would always add that onto the program. And it was just a really big part of my message. I was like, I'm a mum, I want to take all the school holidays off, and people would never push back. All I ever used to hear is, I'm so impressed with your boundaries, it's really inspiring, you make me want to take the school holidays off. I didn't realize how simple it could be. You just basically need to tell people, and you need to put it in your contract to make it very clear that during this time I will not be available for feedback, I will not be available for calls. Basically, you have no interaction with me during the school holidays. It's as simple as that, and you can simply add the time on and make the program longer. And this is the beauty of an evergreen program, is adding on a month or 6 weeks more, it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're already running the program, so it doesn't add any additional work for you. Now, the only reason I slightly changed this is because me and my son's dad separated and I have him half the time. So I was finding that I didn't actually always want to take 2 weeks off, especially around like Easter and October. We're in the 2-week holiday as I'm recording this now. Because I only have my son typically for one of those weeks, I was craving more of a rhythm, and the school holidays could sometimes feel a bit like, oh, we've just had a holiday and I've got another 2 weeks off and I've got to communicate that to clients and all of that stuff. So what I shifted my model to now is basically having a week off every single month. So before, in my Evergreen group program, we would have calls every week, and then I'd say take the 2 week school holidays off. Now we have calls 3 weeks of the month, and then I have a week off client calls. Now what that means is whatever week I have my son, so if it's February half term or like Easter, that is the week that is the implementation week. We call it a get it done week in my program. Now, I love this model because, as with the Evergreen model, everything again has become this rhythm and sustainable. So January I have a week off, February I have a week off, March I have a week off. The only difference to this is August, where I take the entire month off. And very simply, we add a month onto people's programs so they don't miss out at all. Now, do clients sometimes panic and think, oh my gosh, what, you're not going to be available for the entire month of August? Sure, every now and again I have a client panic about that. But the reality is, I'm not a heart surgeon. I'm not doing like any kind of life-saving thing, I'm helping people obviously build evergreen group programs, get better at marketing and sales, but I also want to model strong boundaries, and my life and my family is always going to come first. So I find when you are strong with clients, when you hold boundaries, and when you create a structure that truly suits you and your life, your business is such a joy, it's sustainable, and you don't resent any of it. You don't resent your clients, you don't resent the time you are working. So that is how, very simply, you can create so much time off. If you wanted more time than that, you could meet your group every other week and have 2 weeks off a month off client delivery. That would allow you to travel and do all sorts. The only time I think it becomes hard with Evergreen, if you want to take basically 3 months off or 4 months off and not work at all, because unless you're going to basically hire someone to support your clients during that time. So I hope I've shown you in this super short video that you can still take time off with the Evergreen model. Arguably, it becomes easier because everything's a rhythm and you can build it into your structure. If you found this video useful, drop me a comment and let me know.